Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Looking Pattern to Alternating Currents Live. I just want to say it's such a pleasure to have Mr. Ernest Dawkins back here after our extended pause since 2019. This pause began to look like it was in the distance. I thought, well, we can have this. And with the same trio, so Jonathan Woods doing video productions, and Zaii. The mysterious Zaii, and electronics. And so I will turn everything over to Mr. Dawkins on the eve of a total eclipse.
Right. So before you start, who was here last time I was here? You were here? Okay, you were here. He gave me a poster from 1977 now?
I think so, yeah.
It's 1977?
Yeah.
So now I'm giving him a t-shirt from 2023.
Oh,
of the
fantastic.
Inglewood Jazz Festival.
All right.
There you go.
Almost as good as being there in person.
There you go, almost.
Yeah.
Almost, just that.
Well, we're not going down to Indiana tomorrow to see the total eclipse, but between you and me, I bought Gina a t-shirt, an eclipse t-shirt.
Okay.
So at least she has the t-shirt.
There you go.
All right, take it away, my friend.
Thank you. So, a lot has changed, and I guess staying the same as well. Since we've been here in 2019, I thought it was 2018. Jonathan and I, we were going back and forth. When was the last time we were here? Was it 2018? We knew it was before the pandemic. We knew that. So, that pandemic was something else. Man, that was an eye opener, wasn't it? So we need to be vigilant. We need to be prepared, and we need to ward off all those bad spirits and all that kind of stuff. So. It's an honor to be here at Woodland Patterns, particularly on the eve of this eclipse. We're going back home because we have better sight tomorrow. We got 90-some%. I thought it was going to be more here. I was going to stay here, but then I saw that it was more in Chicago. I said, well, we'll get out and go home and see the eclipse. So they said the next total eclipse in our area won't be in 2044 in this general area. Right, so that's a long time away. I mean, we need to take advantage and live every day like it's, the last day. Also, I like to tell these stories, man. Don't pay me no attention. You got that packet colors on, man. I'm a football fan. We're gonna get you, though. One day, no. Well, I'm celebrating Ramadan, so I was telling the guys up here that about this time of day I get really crazy and giddy because I'm ready to eat. That's why I was looking at you when you came in with those chips. I'm like, damn, how long we eat? So anyway, we're gonna enjoy ourselves. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna be artistic. We're gonna be serious about what we're doing as well. So I always like to, throw some humor into what we do because, like I said, we need to, take ourselves kind of lightly and enjoy our experiences because these experiences here on Earth are very fleeting. You know what I'm saying? And so I said that to say my father told me something a few years ago. He said, look, Ernest, it's going to come a time when you can't do what you want to do or you need to do. So do everything you want to do and need to do now. So that's how I live my life. So without further ado, Jonathan Woods as our VJ, give it up for him. Zaii, give it up for him. So I have to talk about him. Not that I'm not going to talk about Jonathan Woods, I'm going to talk about Moses. So I met you in high school, right? Yeah, Whitney Young. Yeah. So he's gone on to have this illustrious career in music. He's an inventor of what now?
The Nova Portals is an instrument that I don't have to touch in order to make sounds, so I wave my hands back and forth.
And I was trying to get him to bring it out today, but he said we didn't pay him enough. I'm just putting it out there. Because we want the whole 9 yards next time, right? We want the entire experience. So his previous name was Everett Reed. He changed his name to Nova Zaii, and I kept calling him Nova Zaii, and he would just laugh at me. Nova Zaii. Nova Zaii on drums and electronics. Give it up for him. My name is Ernest Dawkins, Ernest Dawkins, and I'll be on saxophones and a lot of electronics. So without further ado, we're going to start. And I'm sure you enjoy it. Let us know, and we'll ask you what you think after. Thank you. We'll play one more short one. Nova. You want to start? Thank you very much for coming out tonight. Melodies on drums and You should have a question, young man. What's your question? Come on, any question, anything, off the top of your head. There's no wrong questions. Say something. Say something. Come on, you think of something now. You ready to go home? You want to hear some more?
Yeah.
Hello? See, I knew you had a question. Okay. Come on now. What? Anything? Nothing? Nothing? You have a question, you just don't want to say it. Right? Huh?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Okay, cool. Anyone else have a question? Comment? Come on, y'all. Something.
I'm grateful.
Thank you. There you go. Give us some feedback. Something.
That's cool. How did it
How
feel?
how do you know what somebody else is going to do?
We don't know. There's something that's in, I'm a member of the ACM, long time ago. So, Vandy Harris used to have this group. He was an older guy, now deceased member of the ACM. He was older than us. He used to have this group that's called the Intuitive Research Beings. And that's what the music is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about intuitive research, and you're supposed to listen to the music. See, and that's the whole point, is to listen to the music rather than play the music, because it's a different interpretation when you're trying to play the music rather than when you're listening to the music and then and listening to what the music is telling you what to do. Because see, the older I get, the more I understand I need to listen to the music, because the music will tell me what to play, when to play, at the most opportune times. And that's the key. That's the real key. I'm not gonna say anything about what some people do and what some people don't do. You see what I'm saying? But for me, it's about listening to the music. Yes?
At what point do you combine playing with the visuals?
You want to answer that?
I would say from the beginning, I think one of the prompts we used was to let Jonathan start off with some visuals. And you may have seen me turn my head a lot. I basically treat everything that I'm doing as a live score, to what is happening kind of as a centralizing visual grounding force for all of us to experience the same thing together. And I think a lot of people can have visuals as kind of like an afterthought, behind the music. But I think what's cool with what Jonathan is doing is that he's improvising. And so he's having a conversation with us as we're playing. And especially towards the end there, when he brings in more concrete visuals like a heartbeat, we all then can interpret what that might mean in conversation with the music, So that's when I turn off the snares. That's when I started to get into not necessarily an explicit heartbeat, but something that was inspired by this feeling of like warmth, concave, embrace, but also life-giving and consistent, So that's when I went from doing more sporadic phrases to something a little bit more elongated and drawn out like a heartbeat,
And to me, it's different. I try to go sometimes counter to what's being visually presented, because to me, that's the interpretation of music. Sometimes I can go with it, sometimes I can't go with it. But that's the whole point. So when we were coming up, people would tell us, play red. And we would have to interpret red. Play green. So after you play red and then you play green, well, what's the difference between red and green? So what do people mostly associate with color red musically?
anger.
Anger, what else?
Passion.
Huh?
Passion.
Yeah, what else?
Energy, fire.
Fire, right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So what's the difference between that and green?
Lush.
Green is go and red is go.
I know, but I'm just saying, what's the contrast between the color red if you're playing color red and color green?
Green's hotter.
Huh?
Green is hotter.
It's hotter? Okay.
Interesting,
No,
It's what?
interesting.
Okay.
it's growing. It's like life.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So you can go interpret that literally, or you can interpret that artistically and go against whatever it is. So if red is hot or fiery, you can go soft and sweet. You see what I'm saying? But that's the experiences that you have in relationship to playing those, because it's about concepts. You see, red is usually more continuous sort of sound, and you could go angular if I'm making any sense, right? So I said that to say this because you can interpret the most obvious of visuals. You know, it's the thing is, how do you create a relationship to that? You see what I'm saying? Because it's several ways to do it. And not one way is the right way. You can use all the ways if you're listening to the music. And the music is the art. See, the music is the visual for me. There's no separation. Right. Yes.
Have you done this project with more musicians than?
I haven't done this project. Well, I did it with about 5 musicians before.
4, 5 at once, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
But a trio is a good start. Maybe you add a quartet, or maybe even a dancer.
Cause, we did the Frederick Douglass for the,
But that wasn't this. It was we used some aspects of this, right? Because we had a dancer, we had a vocalist, we had a poet, the whole 9 yards.
What strikes me, so this is the second time I've got to hear this trio.
Right.
What strikes me is just how tight this trio is. It's not visuals going on simultaneous
Right.
with the instrumentalists. There's so much counterpoint, as you say, and then the continuity and discontinuity, it's so fluid that it's as tight as 3 instrumentalists can be after a long time working together. And that comes from all of your sensibilities, not just
I concur.
the video.
I concur.
yeah, I should say also that, these 2 guys have no idea what it is that is gonna be singing. They don't know of any.
No, we haven't seen the visuals.
They haven't seen anything at all.
Right.
So it's completely like whatever it is that kind of feel and flow from them as well. So
What goes into your choices then when you're putting your arsenal together for this trio? What do you think about?
well, for the beginning, someone said the eclipse. So I said, oh, let me go with sun. So I started there, and I just kind of trust
There you go.
wherever it is that we kind of just go. It's just kind of trust and listening to them.
So none of your images were planned beforehand at all?
Not the order of them.
Okay.
I know that there were certain things that I was drawn to, and so I decided to just put them in a whole bank of different visual material. And the other thing too, the effects and other kinds of things, the montage and crossover, all those things are also improvised effects and things like that as well. So when I'm doing something, when things are swirling around or stretching, all of that is also same kind of things where it's based upon what I'm hearing, everyone do.
I wanted to ask, do the 3 of you have a lot of opportunities to get together without an audience, like just rehearsing and playing around, or just like playing together?
Not really.
No.
I'm playing different projects of mine with Jonathan, so we get a chance. We have a familiarity in relationship to conceptual situations. But the trio, we don't rehearse that much. He just moved back to Chicago. What, a few months ago? Yeah. So he was in Detroit for a long time. So he wasn't here physically. So now we'll do some things. But you know what? With this trio, I don't want to we had a rehearsal the other day, and when we hit it, I said, the rehearsal's over. We got to the point, because I said, no, the rehearsal's over. Let's just carry that through to what we're doing. Because we didn't rehearse that long, did we? No, we didn't rehearse that long. So when you hit it, you just have to, okay, that's it. Strike and go. And hopefully we can, not reproduce, but get to that same essence of what it was when we left off. So, and right. So then I want to keep the group together, so hopefully we'll start rehearsing. Maybe once a quarter, you know what I'm saying? Just once a quarter. Talk about some concepts.
I think it was very interesting how the visuals had a lot of symmetry, a lot of pattern, and the music itself carried over into that. There was a lot of like call and response with the self, and then a very symmetric kind of feel to a lot of the improvisations, and I thought that was really interesting. I didn't realize that you were improvising the images, so that working together was, to me, very interesting.
Yeah, I have to say that, I mean, the whole thing, splendid comes to mind. I mean, it just washes right over it. And I love that you spoke of colors, and right away it made me think of Elvin Jones, who always spoke of his drumming in terms of colors. And it was just beautiful to listen to him. So when I heard that, it just right away it's really marvelous.
Yeah, that's the concept of this group, to kind of give you that wash, that complete spiritual wash. Cleansing, that's what it's supposed to be. That's the whole point. That's the idea. That's the idea.
What do each of y'all learn from playing with your instruments in new ways?
Well, I have to learn all these things. Look, you see how to use it today. All the effects, So I just have to kind of have a mental note of what effects I want to use. And I don't have a preconceived idea when I want to use it. It's just that I have to have a mental, I have to have like a map in my head. This is the sound I want to use. Let me get to this sound so I can use it at this appropriate time within the music. It's not pre-designed. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah, and also just like, when you're making noises with your instrument that you wouldn't maybe necessarily, like if you were performing a classical concert, like you wouldn't hear a person do that with that instrument. Doing something that you're not supposed to do.
Oh yeah, I do a lot of that. Sometimes too much of it.
For me, a lot of it is like room. I like what you said about the pedals, because this offers a whole universe. I mean, it's just one pedal, but it's like a whole. It's a powerhouse of sound that can come out of just this, and then you can morph that. So it takes what's the information that I feed it, and I can transform it throughout a journey of effects and manipulation. But then the room also, from room to room, like when you listen, for that point about listening, the information is being processed in the moment. So there's a lot, like you're saying, learning. I'm thinking about like how you're taking in information and processing it, manipulating it, and then filtering it through your own system. A lot of that has to do with like the presence of this particular moment, which will never be. This is different than a Carnegie Hall. This is different than a sidewalk. It's like the learning is kind of in the moment and being present to what's happening right here and now. And you pair that with the visuals too, and your intention going into that, then it just creates a whole spontaneous universe to then develop within itself. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it just has to do with the present moment, that's what I would say.
And then if we had the same thing tomorrow with the same amount of people, it would be totally different. It would be different.
It would be beautiful still.
Oh, yeah. Different. Definitely different.
Because I know with my instrument, what I try to do is I do my best to step out of everything that would always be beautiful, not to be afraid to, on occasion, be ugly or asymmetrical or put something together that may not fit. You know, that kind of thing. I'm sorry, someone else?
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, Noble, about with your setup, you're able to be as fluid as they are, because there are things where, when you were playing the snare, it was really a lot of delay.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't hang on to it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the advantage of kind of what new electronics can do for you.
Yeah.
You're not locked into, I gotta play this whole piece
Right.
with delay.
Yeah.
And you have a real fluidity with it that I like because some of those effects like delay is, you know, you think, I always think of tape delay and I think of the things that Rod did in the 60s.
Right.
Multiple tape, reel and stuff. But you have that, but then it's gone.
Yeah.
You pull it in and then it goes away and the others are playing this counterpart to it. It's just, you know, fascinating.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, particularly when there's what's called input effects. That's real time. You know, I hit it and then you hear the effect immediately. And then there are output effects. So I'll record a loop of me playing, and then that's what ends up getting locked, like you're saying. It gets locked into routine. So I try and take advantage of the fact that I have both the static loop, which can repeat over and over again, but I want to contrast that with something that has more variability to it, so it doesn't get so monotonous, you know? Because it's real easy with loops to just get lost in the loop, and then all of a sudden you're just tired of hearing the loop. You know what I'm saying? But then you have the advantage of a real instrument to dance around the loop and recreate and take an effect in and maybe take it out and put it back in and like be more immediate with it, you know, hands on. So I like that observation.
Yeah.
What do the people out there say?
Right.
Now the people that streaming,
Right.
because they can chat, right? Is anyone out there listening? Right. Right.
Yes, there is a delay though, so.
Did anybody say anything in the chat?
Besides good evening and no.
Tell them we want to hear their comments.
They may be speechless.
Get out of here. Well, that's good. Thank you. Yeah, sure. Cool. Any comments from out there in streaming land? No?
It's always very exhilarating hearing you play, Ernest.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
All of you. It's a beautiful concert.
Thank you very much.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
still
you.
like,
Whoa.
I'm still looking at
Cool.
the heart.
It was a beautiful beginning with the solar images because, you know, we've got eclipse on the brain, but
Yes.
the other day I heard some scientists on the radio talking about what a marvelous cosmic coincidence the eclipse is, because the sun is 400 times larger than the moon, but it's also, the moon is 400 times closer. And in many years from now, it's not going to be a perfect eclipse anymore.
Oh, wow.
And then I was listening to your music and thinking about how that's kind of the core of improvisation. It's just inviting these beautiful cosmic coincidences to happen. So it was very nice.
That's right. So I have to look at that eclipse tomorrow. I have to experience it. It's not going to be there forever, as you say. No. Nothing lasts forever. Thank you for that comment.
That would be amazing.
Thank you for the music.
Amazing.
We're not gonna wait till the next eclipse to have you back.
Okay.
20 years.
And I have a nice dancer. I think she'd be really nice for this. The one that did the last one that did the Mandela piece.
Yeah.
She was good. Was she from Deeply Rooted?
I believe so.
Yeah, she's good. Man, she'll tear that middle of that floor up. She's really good.
Jonathan, in your other work, do you have many opportunities to play in a trio or play really improvise with other musicians? Or is this a kind of not common thing for you?
Well, kind of. Years ago, I started a monthly performance series at a place actually somewhat like this in Chicago called Elastic Arts. And we started a monthly music series for experimental, BIPOC artists. And so what we did was usually I would pair with them, like they would let me know a month ahead of when their set was, what it is that they were thinking about doing. And I would actually create custom visuals for their actual performance, and then improvise some of those as they perform. As it turns out, that program grew into a residency program. So as it turns out, I've actually worked with some of the residents where in my other additional professional life, I'm a filmmaker. So I've DP'd, that is acted as cinematographer for some of those film projects, as well as on occasion editor. And so that's been a lot of fun. But we still do have that series, but because of additional responsibilities, I don't have time to say get together with an artist and plan ahead of time what visuals are going to be. So what ends up happening is they may tell me a couple of things about their songs, or I may just be familiar with some of their music. I may listen to a little bit of ahead of time. And so there may be one or two images that I may get together, and then when they perform, I will go ahead and do some light improvisational, kinds of things. But I usually don't use the material that you see here. I usually, use other things, but it is still something which is completely improvisational. And this doesn't happen like every month. There are some artists who, they just want to, perform without any, visual material. So it's kind of special when I do get the opportunity to do that. But honestly, I've just always been a complete junkie for anything which is surreal, and which is beautiful, and which is poetic visually. So yeah.
Boy, if I was playing at Elastic, I wouldn't pass up an opportunity to work with you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Milwaukee.
Thank you.